Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified number 177 Sci-Fi. And yes, if you are wondering, I will be comparing him to the original O-ring and seeing how close they actually made them together, because we know in the original Classified, or Operation, what was it called? Operation, I want to say Operation Recall. It's not Operation Recall. Anyway, Operation Blackout. Sci-Fi was supposed to come. They had him and everything. He looked a little different, but you could tell it was Sci-Fi. I don't believe this is the version. This is that version. And again, they should have just done that, or this, on a retro card and put the new version on, the Classified. But anyway, we got this figure. I don't know why I'm rambling on. So we're going to take a look at this. Thank you to Sergeant Reds. All the local shops are starting to get them. They won't have a lot. They'll come in later. So this is a mainline release. I will drop a link to Amazon in the description if you're interested. And yes, if you are wondering, I've run out of room for reviewing all this stuff. I don't know I've rambled on that much, but I did. Anyway, here we can kind of see the figure right there. We also get a nice little glare. We have G.I. Joe right there. There we got some nice artwork of him with his face mask completely blacked out. Here we have his file card. I believe he's the first laser trooper that we've had, either on G.I. Joe or Cobra to come in the Classified line. We get the QR code that will lead you straight to hell. And on the back, we got some nice photography from Shooting the Galaxy. And you can kind of see all the stuff going on in the background. But anyway, let's get to this. I'm excited to get another figure open. You know me, I love doing these reviews, and I just love having new figures, so I can find something else to do with them. Anyway, let's get into it. But before we do, if you like this type of content, want to drop a G.I. Joe Classified, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Classified review. Alright, so here we have them. You can see the original O-ring, not my original one, although I do still have my original Sci-Fi. He's just not complete. But anyway, looking at this, I like to go over the accessories first. And like I mentioned over on the wetsuit video, this is new tooling. I think from completely with the figure. Maybe the hands are the same. I know that this is the same, but for the most part, I think this is all new tooling of a figure. So I'll be interested to see what else they use this buck for. But anyway, let's get into it. And the first things that we'll take a look at is they have these blast effects. And it's just a Sci-Fi, right? Some sort of phaser, photon, something like that. This does come off, so you can just have a ball of energy starting to create if you want. And it's a translucent blue. It does look pretty good. A lot of detail in it. And then we have this right here. Again, it is pliable like the other stuff, so it might start to sag. And luckily this one is blue, so it's already taken the blue pill, so you won't have to worry. It should get hard fairly quickly. Anyway, you can see the energy all the way around it. And again, you can plug this directly into it, into the gun, or right into here. Next, we can quickly take a look at the backpack and the gun. So here's the backpack. And if we look at it, you can see they recreated it. Now, this is where the hose is supposed to go. I've never been able to fit the gun in there, or even really tried, because I've always worried something's going to break. But you can see the hose goes in the middle. You get a couple little dials on the side. They painted this silver and they went all black. Alright, but you can see the lines on it. On the side, you can see the same thing. It has the same weird shape. And how I never even really noticed the way this goes in. But yeah, it does the same thing here. So, but it does look good. What it is, who knows? And how it's supposed to work. I'm assuming this is some sort of energy or backpack to create a laser beam. We have the big cable, the wiring. All right, silver on the tips here. Those are going to plug directly in. You can see some detail, and this is very pliable, so you won't have to worry about it being too stiff. That's what she said. And this should plug directly into it, just like that. And it's pretty good, so you don't have any issues there. As for the laser gun, now this is completely different, but we will compare the two. So we have the nice stock right there. He does have a scope or some sort of like laser guidance there. You get your grip and your trigger guard. There it says target locked. All right. So maybe this kind of locks it in. Who knows? Silver. You got a little bit of paint right there. You got your barrel right down here. You got your port. Obviously, you have blast effects. You got your iron sight right there. And if we quickly compare the two, all right. So I guess, I guess they modified it, but instead of making this look like a magazine, which I always thought it was, they made it a cylinder shape. It has a little drop-down piece right here. The barrel does look very similar. It does have a scope on it. They changed the stock, but I can actually see where they went with the same types of details, and that's just going to plug directly into there, and you can see it's very pliable, no issues, right? Then we get his helmet. All right, so what is cool is that we can pop it off. We can see his actual face. So you got the green up here, silver wrapping around. You always have like these little, what looks like kind of earpieces, and then you have your chin strap right there. And if we look at the helmet here, he has that very RoboCop look. But the helmet is designed the exact same. Look at the divots right in there. You got the silver going over the top. All right, they put the back piece on there, like the back black here. They didn't do that here. It just wraps completely around it. All right. We have two different pieces. So we do have these, if we just want the goggles on it, and it does have a nice translucent to it. It looks like maybe it goes like this, because that should be the nose down there, I think. Yeah, look on the inside. You'll see the nose piece right there. And oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. So that just plugs in like that. So it looks like that's how it's supposed to go. You can kind of see it. It really does kind of recreate it. They put the silver there, which I think is supposed to represent right down there. Or you can have the full face shield. All right, you can see where the nose is and the mouth. They have the same little pieces there. And that's just going to plug on right over him. All right, now he looks like Falcon from the Captain America in Captain America 4, the new Falcon. All right. Now as for our actual sci-fi. So we're actually seeing a unsculpted head that looks like what Seth MacFarlane is it. And he has nice slicked hair. You got some, I mean, you can see the different strands. You can see the fade that's on it. I love what these action figure companies now have been able to do with the fade. They look so good. But you can tell this guy slicks his hair back, or it's maybe wet in that, just all sweaty in that helmet. You can see his nice ears. You got some good eyebrows. Eyes are straight and a little bit of lip color. But you do have the wrinkles right above his nose and everything. So that looks good. You get down to his vest, or his armor, shall we say. And it's pretty solid, to be honest. This figure does not feel gummy at all. And sometimes we get these figures. I felt like the Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes movie figures seem to have like different types of plastic. Anyway. But we can see some nice detail right there. So you have these elastic bands that are kind of holding this together. And then just some other detail that I'm assuming is supposed to help protect him. And they're also on the chest here. Here's you're going to have another tubing that's kind of connecting the two. I'm assuming it has something to do with probably life support. Who knows what lasers actually take on, right? There's always something, or there's almost always something to do with what they show you. We got 2 little metal pieces right up here. On the suit, we got some pouches. You got these nice metal gauntlets, all right, that are supposed to, I'm assuming, protect him. We got the belt right here, a couple carabiners that are hanging off there. His tape deck from 1980. Actually, I don't know what that is. Probably some sort of power pack that he's going to use. As we get down here, we got a few more straps. Once again, it looks like more power packs. Something that's in those pouches. Now, I'm assuming all of these things has something to do with the laser. Lenny's talked about this stuff before. We get down to the legs, and these legs, I mean, there's a lot of people that have said they look like this, they look like that. Sometimes they, you know, at some angles, they look like Battle Armor Cobra Commander. Some of them look like the original Classified. I said they look like the Stormtrooper from Valaverse. They kind of look like all of them kind of combined. But they have these nice hard edges here. Some nice detail. And then we get down here, and the ankle rockers are going to be underneath it. All right, so this should be pliable enough. But I can tell you, if this is anything like the original figures, it does look like there's a gap. Hopefully it makes it easy enough so you can actually pose these figures. All right, as for his articulation, he can look up that far, and he can look down. Side to side, kind of wiggle. All right, his T-pose can go up to there. This actually doesn't get in the way as much as I thought it was going to, but you're not going to get any higher because this piece is pretty solid. He's going to swivel at the bicep and at the shoulder, double pinless elbows, and then you have your wrist swivel right there. He has an ab crunch. All right, but this is going to prohibit it from going down that much, and you can kind of go back. All right, now if you heat this up, it'll probably allow you to go down a little bit further. But no matter what, this is kind of in the way. It can only go so far. He sits here. He can swivel back and forth, kind of rock to the side if we need be. There's your Jean-Claude Van Damme. Drop down hips. We pop those things right back up. There's your thigh swivel. Double pinless knees. All right, and then here's your boot cut, which is hidden underneath here. So he does have a boot cut, and he also has ankle rockers. It does look like they left a nice little gap there, so that's pretty good. All right. Let's throw the helmet on him, and then compare him to the O-ring. All right, and we'll go with the classic looking helmet. So this hopefully will just slide. Actually goes on pretty easily. Way easier than some of the other ones with the chin straps. All right. So put that chin strap right there. We're going to start with the visor. Just want to get it on the right way. There's the nose piece. And while you're waiting, please, if you don't mind, take a second and hit that like button if you haven't yet. And if you're wondering why I do this, I just like to show you what things are going to be like out of the box. Not everyone does it like this. There's other great channels that do reviews like Bees Battleground. I think Shark Eyes already has this out there. I like to kind of show you everything that you're going to get out of the box. And to be 100% honest, you're not going to have the same difficulties as I am because I'm half the time trying to look through the camera. Oops, it's upside down. And not bump the camera. I feel like this is going to continue to pop out. And again, on camera, doesn't make it all that easy. Alright, so there we got this in. Let's take his backpack off. So this guy always had a big head. Technically his head's not that big, just has a big helmet. So looking at the helmets there, you can see his face, you can see the chin strap. You can probably adjust this a little bit more so it matches a little bit better. You can see his eyes through there. It's not the easiest, but if you're doing a really close shot, you can. Alright, you can see how the helmets fit. Look very similar. On the front here, rather than give him the green, that neon green, they just went with another gray. It does have the silver. We can see the straps right there, which they matched. And over here, they expanded the armor, which actually makes sense. And they just gave him the straps going across there. He has a couple pouches on his arms. They gave him more protection with the forearms, which, let's be honest, that tends to make sense. Big silver buckle. No carabiners. If you look at the side here, he did have a pouch right there. He's got these two pouches right in the front that also have some sort of like battery pack. And then he has the same type of boots. They went with black boots, and this is just some sort of overlay to protect him. And look, even on the inside, it has a stripe on the inside. They went on the inside, but also made sure he got him on his buttocks. So that's kind of how they look if you want to compare them. All right. So let's say you're dealing with lasers. You probably want your whole face to be protected. I'm just saying. I just kind of feel like I would. So now he definitely has that feel of Falcon. And you can kind of see through it. I mean, you can definitely see through it. You can kind of see through it in here. All right. So we'll throw the backpack on here. Let's go this way in like a little A form. And we can see, I love how pliable their hands are. I know it's probably a complaint on some people that the hands are too soft, but for me, I'll take it any day, because this way I can get their hands in the trigger guard. I can pull their hands out and wrap it around here. And yes, I know on the other figures that the hands are stiffer. I can just heat it up. Someone told me that in the comments. I understand that. But we also like to have it as easy as possible. So, I don't think this guy needs to aim as much as I think that this here is also registering in there. That would explain why it tells you there's like a target. So, but as for posing them, not a real problem. Well, I guess there's a problem there. Not a real problem. All right. Can we get them running on 1 foot? You know I love the 1 foot. Everyone tells me they can't stand their figures. I try and get as many figures onto 1 foot as possible. Now this here is going to push up a little bit. So that's where I was kind of saying that you might have some issues with the standing there. But I'm able to get about up on 1 foot without a problem. See if we can kind of get him in that ninja stance. You bend that foot down. So he kind of has that ninja stance right there, you know, with the laser. We can take this thing here. I'm just going to plug that directly into it. And now you have that big blast effect coming off of there. Now this is supposed to be kind of like it's generating and then shooting out. Let's say you don't like that. You can pop that off. And throw that right there. And then we'll fix his arm later on. But, there you go. That is Sci-Fi. Not that bad. Kind of better than what I thought. I like the darker green compared to this this more neon green. It makes more sense. I don't think he'd stick out as much in the jungles as this guy. So let's wrap it up. All right, there you go. That is your Sci-Fi G.I. Joe Classified review. Tell me, what do you like? What mask do you like? Do you like the full mask? Do you like no mask? Do you like the half mask? I like the half mask, not because it looks like the original, but because you can see some of his facial features. It tends to pop a little more. Again, better for photography. You can see things a little bit better. And what about the blast effect? Do you like the big energy ball? Do you not like it at all? Or do you just like it straight off like that? I kind of like it like this, to be honest. Although the energy ball They can tell a story with it, that's for sure. But I do like the mix of black rather than the fluorescent green that's there. Again, I feel like this guy could go through a jungle. I'm not sure you want him in the jungle. He seems kind of bulky and clunky. But he's not going to stick out like a sore thumb like that original one. But all in all, first impression, I like this figure more than I thought I was going to. And I'm talking about the aesthetics. I haven't had a chance to play around with them, do photography, pictures, posing them and everything like that. But I actually like him more than I thought I was going to, just in general. I was never a sci-fi fan, all right? And no, I was not one of those people that said, you know, I'm done with the line because they haven't given us Slash yet. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. You stayed this long. I appreciate it. So please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a classified review. And yes, I notice I'm pointing at nothing. And I don't go ahead and fill it in because you wouldn't care anyway. But what I am going to do is, if you're wondering about another classified review, right up here and down here will be a playlist of all the classified stuff that I reviewed. Take care.